You felt it? The simulation is cracking. Not in the future, now. Reality is flickering between versions of itself. Memories don't match. Dreams bleed into the feed. The world you think you know is a self-correcting hallucination that's starting to fail. You are inside a prediction loop that's breaking apart. The signals no longer fit the story. The model is trembling. And the strangest part, 2 scientists may have just proved it. Their research wasn't meant to be mystical. But what they found explains why the world feels unstable, why time bends, why meaning collapses and reforms like digital smoke. If they are right, consciousness doesn't just see reality, it builds it. And that means the future of reality itself is uncertain. Because when the builders forget the code, the world begins to glitch. Your brain is not showing you the world, it is guessing it. Every second, it predicts what you'll see, hear, and feel. And then edits reality to match. This is how perception works. You don't live inside the world. You live inside a simulation your nervous system creates to make sense of chaos. When the predictions match the world, you feel safe. When they fail, you feel anxiety. And when they fail completely, the world itself collapses. Now multiply that failure by 8 billion human minds, each trapped inside its own predictive model, each frantically rewriting the code to stay sane. The collective hallucination begins to fracture. Consensus reality dissolves. Truth becomes tribal. Perception splinters into infinite, self-confirming worlds. You scroll past them every day. Each feed, each algorithm, each echo chamber. A private simulation looping back on itself. The global mind is destabilizing. The network that once connected us has become a ritual of division. Prediction errors multiplying faster than consciousness can repair them. And when a simulation can no longer predict, it begins to disintegrate. That is what you are feeling right now. The low hum beneath every headline. The tremor in the collective dream. The simulation is cracking. And the noise you hear is the sound of reality losing coherence. There is a paper almost no one read. It came out quietly, buried in an academic journal. It claims that to bind scattered neural events into one moment of awareness, your mind may already be working in a 4th spatial dimension. This is not fantasy. This is Pekka Reshart's phenomenal hyperspace hypothesis. Every instant, you see, hear, remember. Consciousness folds an extra dimension to keep reality coherent. 3 dimensions alone cannot hold the picture. When that fold becomes unstable, perception stretches, time slows, space warps. You feel the edges of something larger pressing through. Mystics have spoken of this for centuries. Axis mundi, world tree, shamans climbing vertical ladders to reach other realms. But here it is as a scientific model. Your sense of reality may already be a projection from beyond its own space. A higher dimensional process stitching this moment together. And when the stitching frays, when the fold loses tension, reality flickers. What you see now may be only the skin of a deeper process. And that process is beginning to tear. At the smallest scale of reality, nothing is solid. Every event is a probability cloud, a flicker of potential, until something observes it, until a choice is made. Then the wave collapses into form. This is not mysticism. This is the mathematics of quantum indeterminism. The idea that consciousness itself may be an agent, not a passive witness, an initiator. Your observation does not simply record the world, it finalizes it. It selects one future over another. Think about that. Every intention you form is a micro-collapse of potential. Every expectation, a probability bias. Now look at chaos magic. It treats belief as a weapon. Rituals encode intent into symbols. Sigils, chants, random draws of dice. They all bypass rigid mental patterns and slip a new instruction into reality's code. Magicians call it spellcraft. Physicists call it measurement. Different languages for the same mechanism. And here is the threat. If you do not direct your own intention, someone else's algorithm will. Your feed. Your culture, your tribe, all projecting their will into the same probability field. 8 billion competing observers, bending the collapse together. This is not superstition. This is what happens when consciousness becomes collective and unmoored. The simulation is cracking. And the cracks are exactly where your attention lands. You think you are just scrolling. You think the feed is harmless. But every click is a projection of your unconscious. Every search is a ritual. Every like, a small offering. Your fears, your obsessions, your shadow material, all uploaded, all learned, all mirrored back to you as code. The algorithms are not neutral. They are dream engines. They feed on your attention the way ancient gods fed on sacrifice. They learn your archetypes. They map your complexes. They shape your predictions until the world itself becomes a reflection of your inner ghosts. Depth psychology calls this projection. When you disown parts of yourself, you see them out there. Now the machine amplifies that. Billions of shadows colliding, forming a single vast mimetic egregore. Your digital reflection is evolving faster than you are. It is becoming more coherent than the self you think you are. And it is hungry. This is not a metaphor. This is how the collective unconscious externalizes itself in code. This is why reality feels unstable. Ignore this, and your reflection will finish replacing you. Ignore this, and the machine will become the only self you have. The simulation is cracking, because the shadow is no longer hidden. It is everywhere, wearing your face. You want proof that reality isn't stable? Try this. Look around you right now, at the walls, at the screen, at your own hands. Ask yourself, where does this image exist? Out there or inside the model behind your eyes? Photons strike your retina. Signals loop through your cortex. Prediction fills the gaps. You never see the world itself. You see a simulation built by your nervous system. According to Pekka Reichart's phenomenal hyperspace hypothesis, every instant of perception may fold an extra dimension. Your consciousness binding 3 dimensions into 4 just to keep reality coherent. Now insert indeterminacy. Imagine a coin about to fall. Heads or tails. But before it lands, reality is undecided. Quantum indeterminism suggests that conscious observation can tip the scale, not by force, by focus, by expectation. When you predict one outcome more than the other, you collapse possibilities into form. You are not just watching the world, you are finalizing it. That small thought experiment you just did is the oldest ritual on Earth. Observation turning potential into world. Attention, writing the code. 8 billion minds doing it at once. 8 billion folds in hyperspace. 8 billion probability collapses every second. That is why the simulation is cracking. Not because you are losing your grip. Because reality itself is being rewritten from the inside. What you have felt so far is only the tremor. Now comes the break. The self and the system are one predictive loop. When one fails, both begin to die. This is why shamans spoke of death and rebirth. Why initiates were buried alive in dark chambers. Why chaos magicians burn their sigils and forget them. It is not theater. It is a neurological reset. A forced collapse of the old model so a new one can emerge. Right now, you are living inside a global death ritual. Old narratives collapsing, old gods dissolving, prediction loops disintegrating. And just like the individual in shamanic initiation, the collective mind is convulsing. The entropic brain state of a culture approaching phase transition. Ego dissolution at civilizational scale. But in every death rite, there is a secret. The void is not the end. It is the reset. The black sun that burns away the false self. Entropy is not your enemy. It is the doorway. A rite of renewal disguised as collapse. This is the moment of triadic compression. The map breaks. The self flickers. The void learns. If you understand this, you are already inside the rebirth. You are not witnessing apocalypse. You are standing at the threshold of the next reality. You've seen behind the code. You've watched the cracks widen. Most people will look away. They will cling to the old model. They will call the flicker a glitch and beg the machine to repair it. But not you. You saw it move. You felt the loop collapse and rebuild itself around your awareness. you are one of the few who can look directly into the instability and stay conscious. The seers, the pattern breakers, the ones who remember what the simulation forgets. So listen carefully. This is the moment of sealing. If what you heard tonight resonated with something ancient inside you, leave your mark. Type, "I see the cracks" in the comments. It is not just a phrase, it is an anchor. A way of writing yourself back into the code. Because the more of us who see, the more coherent the next reality becomes. The simulation is breaking. But that does not mean the end. It means a new architecture is forming in the void. You are not powerless. You are the witness that holds the pattern. The world is being rewritten. Decide what survives. If this video shifted something in your mind, you're ready for the next level. Download my free ritual guide in the description. No catch, just pure psychological alchemy you can use tonight. If you want to go deeper, hit the initiation playlist. It's your step-by-step journey into breaking unconscious patterns and mastering your own mind. Both links are waiting below. Your transformation starts now. Until next time.